as we bring in meteorologist Andrew Brightman here, we cannot emphasize enough, unless you like shopping in the rain, tonight and tomorrow is the day to do it.
You're absolutely right. It really is all about getting everything you want to get done between now and Saturday night, because once we get to Sunday here, that's when things are just going to go downhill in such a hurry, and it's just going to be an absolute washout really across the Carolinas here as we see just the heavy rainfall that's going to be moving through across the region. Just really terrible weather that we're going to have for the second half of the weekend. Also, for all my Panthers fans, I wish I had better news for you, but we are going to be seeing just an absolute washout. Also, some strong winds as well, which is likely going to play a bit of a factor here as we go through that game. I do want to talk, though, a little bit about the setup that we have going on for this system here. Right now, 59 degrees. You're walking out the door. Still just a wonderful Friday evening here across the Carolinas. Beautiful shot from Gastonia right now. Calm conditions, but things are going to be heading downhill. Tomorrow is dry. It won't look as nearly as this beautiful that we have right now in our Arlington camera, but still going to be staying dry across the region. Current conditions, pinpoint satellite and radar, nothing to talk about here. Let's zoom out. Let's go wide here. Talk about the setup, some of the players on the field, if so to speak, here as we'll keep with the football references. Area low pressure, frontal boundary. That's some of the initial energy that we're going to be watching making its way off to the east. Already seeing some storm activity starting to gather here across portions of the Gulf of Mexico. That is the initial forming of that area of low pressure that's going to take shape and move through. One thing I want to talk about, too, is the potential tracks here. Yesterday, especially, we were concerned about a westerly track, basically the area of low pressure going directly over Charlotte. That was going to have a higher flood potential. Damaging winds were looking likely. Power outage potential with this such strong storm moving directly over the region. And we were going to be seeing flooding rainfall potentially across all of the Central Carolinas. But with this easterly track that's looking more and more likely, much less rain for the mountains potentially, which would be a little bit of good news. We still need the rainfall, but you can't get all this rain all at once here. The concern would be runoff. Still going to see some gusty winds, but the power outage potential is going to be less, and the flood potential is really going to be focused from Charlotte points off to the south and east. And that's basically what the Weather Prediction Center is showing here with that moderate flood risk once we get from Charlotte through basically the eastern half of the state here as we go through your Sunday. So there's the area of low pressure, that initial frontal boundary that's going to help to bring in all of this energy for this developing area of low pressure that's going to make its way through the Florida Panhandle and then make its way up the eastern seaboard. This is 7:30 on your Sunday morning. You can see all of the green here across the Carolinas. The worst of our weather is going to be moving through during the, let's call it, noon to early middle afternoon hours. That's the heaviest rainfall moving through the Carolinas as the system basically moves right along the coast here, potentially going directly over the Outer Banks, and then it clears out, and we do see some improved weather, maybe a shower or two early Monday morning, but things do start to improve greatly here once we get to your Monday. In terms of the winds, this is another thing I'm talking about. Still going to see the gusty winds, but also some of the strongest winds as we get to your Sunday are going to be focused south and east of Charlotte. These are wind gusts 25 to 35 miles an hour. They're going to be possible. So blustery, breezy, but not too concerned about power outages per se across the Carolinas. So that is some good news, but still going to see some very heavy rainfall. Again, 2 to 3 inches of rain is possible right now. Charlotte points off to the south and east. Could see some localized amounts even higher, but up in the mountains, a ½ inch to an inch of rain now is looking a little bit more likely versus the 2 to 4 inches that they could have seen with that more directly over Charlotte track that we were concerned about yesterday. All in all, still a terrible Panthers forecast. I wish I had better news for Panthers fans out there, but maybe this is the weather we need to get a W against the Falcons on your Sunday. Heavy rain throughout the game, breezy conditions, cool, obviously not nearly cold enough for snow, so just kind of yuck. I'd rather watch the game on television. Temperatures over the next 12 hours, cruising down into the middle 30s here, right around the freezing mark in Charlotte. So with the mostly clear skies, light winds, and very low dew points, bone dry out there, we're still going to cool down significantly. Tomorrow, dog walking forecast. You're still in good shape, but we'll see a lot more cloud cover across the region. High temperatures, lower 60s across the Sandhills once we get to the Piedmont here. Still close to the 60-degree mark, up into the foothills, mid to upper 50s. And then we finish up in the mountains, mid to upper 40s. So cool, but not all that cold. Mountain forecast, you could see a little rain and snow on your Monday as that cold air quickly moves in. It's going to be a cold Tuesday across the mountains. Also going to be a cold Tuesday here in Charlotte. Pinpoint 7-day forecast, complete washout on Sunday. But once we get through this storm, looking pretty quiet all the way through, potentially through Christmas, Annie.